Ladies and gentlemen, life has a funny way of luring us into a state of comfort. We all desire it, right? Who wouldn't want to be cozy, relaxed, and free from the pressures that come with growth? But here's the truth. Comfort, as much as it feels good in the moment, has a sneaky side to it. When we stay in our comfort zones for too long, we risk becoming complacent, stagnant, and disconnected from the very thing that fuels our progress challenge. We all know the feeling of wanting to stay in our comfort zones. It's safe, it's predictable, it's a place where everything feels right, where there's no challenge, no struggle, no risk. The idea of stepping out of that comfort zone often seems terrifying, doesn't it? It feels so much easier to stay right where we are, where things are familiar, even if we're not really growing. And that's where the problem lies. Comfort, as much as it feels good, can be a dangerous trap. We live in a world that tells us to seek comfort, whether it's lounging on the couch after a long day, enjoying the luxuries of modern life, or avoiding uncomfortable conversations and situations. But the harsh truth is that the more we indulge in comfort, the more it begins to make us soft. It's not just about physical softness. It's about becoming mentally and emotionally soft. When you get too used to comfort, you stop challenging yourself. You stop growing. Think of it this way. When you live in constant comfort, you're not forcing yourself to rise above challenges. You're not sharpening your skills. You're not pushing your boundaries. Instead, you're letting life pass by, accepting what comes your way, and not questioning your potential. You're choosing to stay in a place that is easy, but stagnant. And that, my friend, is the softest version of yourself you'll ever meet. The longer you stay in comfort, the more you'll resist the discomfort that comes with real growth. It becomes easier to ignore the opportunities to better yourself, to avoid the struggle that would actually lead to your success. But comfort isn't the enemy, is it? It's natural to want to feel at peace, to feel good. The problem arises when comfort becomes the place we hide. The place where we hide from challenges, the place where we avoid pushing ourselves, the place where we accept the mediocre version of ourselves rather than striving for something more. Comfort is the place where mediocrity breeds. You don't push yourself because you don't need to. You settle for what's easy, and in doing so, you risk losing sight of your own potential. You stop growing and you start settling. The thing is, comfort doesn't just make you soft, it makes you complacent. You stop wanting to improve. You stop looking for ways to challenge yourself. And when you stop growing, you stop being the best version of yourself. You accept limitations instead of challenging them. You accept life the way it is, without questioning if it can be better. To live fully, to truly thrive, you must choose the discomfort that comes with growth. You must choose the struggle. Because it's in that struggle that we become strong. It's in the discomfort that we find our true potential. Comfort may be the easy path, but the easy path is never the one that leads to greatness. So, next time you feel the pull of comfort, remember, it's a trap. The only way to truly grow is to step outside of it and embrace the discomfort. That's how you become the person you're meant to be. That's how you stop being soft and start being strong. There's something powerful about stepping outside of what you know. It's a feeling that many of us tend to avoid, right? The fear of the unknown, the uncertainty of what lies ahead, is enough to keep anyone stuck in their comfort zone. But here's the thing, growth and strength are never found in the places that feel safe and easy. They exist only in the places that challenge you, that push you to the edge of what you think is possible. Think about the times in your life when you grew the most. Was it when everything was going according to plan, when things were smooth and easy? Or was it when you faced a challenge, when you were forced to adapt, to learn something new, or to struggle through a difficult situation? My guess is that it was the latter. It's always the difficult moments that shape us the most. It's the moments when you think you can't go on, but you push through anyway. Those are the moments that make you stronger. You've probably heard the phrase no pain, no gain. While it may sound cliché, it's the truth. Growth doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. It doesn't come from avoiding the difficult moments. Growth comes from choosing the discomfort that leads to something better. It comes from the tough times that stretch your abilities, your strength, and your character. When you stay comfortable for too long, you stop challenging yourself, you stop testing your limits. You stop expanding your mind and your capabilities, and that's where you start to plateau. Your skills become stagnant, your mindset becomes limited, and you stop seeing possibilities beyond your immediate surroundings. You've seen it in others, and you've probably even felt it yourself. When you're too comfortable, you stop trying, and you stop growing. On the other hand, when you step outside your comfort zone, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You put yourself in situations where failure is possible, where mistakes can happen, and where you might not have all the answers. But that's where the real magic happens. That's where you learn. That's where you grow. It's in these uncomfortable situations that you discover what you're truly capable of. You learn new things about yourself, and you develop the resilience to keep going, even when things get tough. Growth and strength don't just come from doing something once. They come from doing something over and over again, even when it's hard. Think about the process of learning a new skill. In the beginning, it's frustrating. You might fail a few times, maybe more than a few times. But with each failure you learn, and with each lesson you grow. It's that continuous cycle of failure and learning that builds strength. And it's only by stepping outside your comfort zone, by facing those challenges head on, that you can truly evolve. When you push yourself, even when you don't feel like it, you build mental toughness. You develop the ability to keep going when things get hard. You start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. You realize that each setback is simply a setup for a greater comeback. And when you keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity, you become stronger. Growth requires risk. It requires stepping into the unknown, embracing uncertainty, and being okay with not having all the answers. You don't need to know exactly how things will turn out, but you do need to trust yourself enough to take that first step. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you realize that it's not as scary as it seems. The world is full of possibilities, and once you break free from your comfort zone, you start to see them everywhere. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment to grow. Stop waiting for the right time to take a leap of faith. The right time is now. If you're feeling stuck, it's because you're too comfortable. It's time to challenge yourself. Step outside the box, face the discomfort, and embrace the growth that lies on the other side. The strength you need is already inside of you. It just needs to be unlocked by stepping into the unknown. Growth and strength will always happen outside the comfort zone, and that's where you need to be if you want to become the best version of yourself. It's easy to fall into the trap of comfort. We're constantly told to relax, take it easy, and enjoy the good life. And while there's nothing wrong with having peace and comfort in your life, there's a danger when comfort becomes the goal. The problem lies in the fact that comfort can make you stop striving. It can make you settle for less than what you deserve, or worse, less than what you're capable of. When we get too comfortable, we stop pushing ourselves. We start to accept things as they are, without thinking that there could be more out there for us. It's like you've been walking down a road for so long, and it feels safe and familiar, so you stop looking for better paths. You stop questioning if there's a new path you could take, one that leads to a place where you can be better, stronger, or more successful. Comfort can make us believe that where we are is good enough, and that's when we settle. We stop trying to improve ourselves. We stop dreaming big because we've convinced ourselves that this is all we need. We tell ourselves that we're fine with the way things are. But deep down, we know that we're not really giving our best. We're not really going after what we truly want. We're just going through the motions, accepting what comes our way instead of reaching for more. This sense of complacency is a silent killer of ambition. You stop looking for opportunities to challenge yourself, to grow, and to evolve. You get used to the comfortable routine and forget about the excitement of pursuing something greater. And when you start accepting less than what you deserve, you stop growing, you stop learning, you stop developing into the person you were meant to be. We've all had moments where we've settled. Maybe it's in a job that doesn't inspire us, a relationship that doesn't serve us, or even in the small habits we allow to become part of our routine. In these moments, comfort convinces us that it's easier to stay where we are than to step out into the unknown, to take a risk, to push ourselves. But the truth is, comfort is a lie. It tricks you into thinking you're okay when in fact you're stagnating. The more you stay in your comfort zone, the less you believe in your own potential. You begin to think that this is all there is for you, and you stop reaching for the things that once excited you. You stop believing that you can achieve something bigger, better, or more fulfilling. Comfort makes you complacent. It makes you forget that you are capable of so much more than you're giving yourself credit for. Think about the times when you pushed yourself, when you took a leap of faith, when you stepped into the unknown. You were uncomfortable, yes, but you grew, didn't you? You learned something new about yourself, about what you're capable of. That discomfort is where the magic happens. It's where you stretch your abilities and discover new strengths you never knew you had. But when you stay in comfort, you stop experiencing that. You stop seeing what you're truly capable of. The danger is that over time, comfort becomes the default. It becomes the thing you seek out without even realizing it. You get used to things being easy, and you start to forget what it feels like to fight for something, to work for something, to chase after something bigger than yourself. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but it's not the path to greatness. Greatness comes from the willingness to push through discomfort, to face the challenges that come with growth, and to keep moving forward even when things get tough. When you choose comfort, you're choosing to accept less than you deserve. You're choosing to settle for what's easy instead of reaching for what's extraordinary. The truth is, you're capable of so much more, but you have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone and go after it. You have to be willing to face the discomfort, to risk failure, to keep pushing forward when everything in you tells you to stop. Because that's where you'll find the life you were meant to live. That's where you'll find the success, the growth, and the fulfillment that comfort could never offer. There's something incredibly empowering about stepping into the unknown. Every time you push yourself beyond the boundaries of what's familiar, something within you changes. You may not notice it immediately, but every single step you take outside of your comfort zone is a step toward growth. It's in the discomfort, the struggle, and the uncertainty that you find your true strength. Every time you face a new challenge or take a risk, you learn more about who you are and what you're capable of. At first, it feels difficult, doesn't it? The nerves, the fear of failure, the anxiety of not knowing what will happen next. But that's exactly where growth begins. It's in those moments when you feel like you can't go any further, but you push yourself anyway, that you evolve. Growth doesn't come from staying in the comfortable, predictable parts of life. It comes from stepping out into the chaos and learning how to navigate it. It comes from the moments where you feel most vulnerable, yet you find the courage to move forward. You can look back at your life and realize that the biggest leaps you took were the times when you had no idea what would happen next. It was the time you took a chance on a new opportunity, the time you took on a project you didn't feel fully prepared for, the time you stepped into a situation where you were unsure but knew it was worth the risk. In those moments, you grew more than you ever could have by staying where it was comfortable. It's natural to want to stay in familiar territory, to stick with what feels safe. But the truth is, the things that make you uncomfortable are the things that shape you. Every time you step out of that safe space, you break down the walls that limit you. You stop accepting the things that hold you back. You start challenging yourself in new ways, and with each challenge, you expand your potential. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't always mean taking huge leaps. Sometimes it's the small steps that lead to the most growth. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet. Or maybe it's starting a new project even though you feel like you don't have all the answers yet. It's these seemingly small decisions that push you to grow, that push you to stretch your limits and build confidence in yourself. And each time you do that, you become stronger, you become more capable, you become someone who is no longer afraid to embrace the unknown. The beauty of growth is that it doesn't have a final destination. There's no arrival point. Every step outside of your comfort zone is part of an ongoing journey. With every new challenge, there's a new version of yourself that emerges. It's a process that never ends, and that's what makes it so powerful. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you grow. You start seeing yourself in a different light. You realize that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. And the more you experience this growth, the more willing you become to step out of your comfort zone again and again. Think about the times when you felt uncertain, but chose to move forward anyway. Those are the moments that define you. It's in the moments of discomfort that you discover your true resilience. It's in those times that you realize you can handle challenges that once seemed impossible. And with each new experience, you continue to build on your growth. Growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It's not about moving from one comfort zone to another. It's about constantly pushing yourself to be better, to do better, and to learn more. Every time you step out of that familiar space, you get closer to the person you are meant to be. Every time you take a risk and move forward with courage, you're opening doors to opportunities you never would have encountered otherwise. And those opportunities lead to growth, which leads to more confidence, more resilience, and more success. Rest is essential. We all need it to recharge, to refresh, and to regain our energy. It's a natural part of life, and without it, we burn out. But here's the thing, rest, if not purposeful, can lead to stagnation. It's easy to fall into the trap of taking rest just because we feel tired or because we're used to a routine of doing nothing. But this type of rest does nothing to help us grow. It's not restorative in the way that helps us move forward. Instead, it's the kind of rest that holds us back. When we rest without purpose, we're essentially hitting the pause button on our personal development. Think about it. When you rest in a way that has no intention behind it, what happens? You start to lose momentum. You start to drift. The longer you stay in that resting state, the harder it becomes to get back on track. Instead of feeling rejuvenated and ready to take on challenges, you feel stuck and unwilling to make progress. It's like getting comfortable in a chair and staying there for so long that you forget the importance of standing up and walking. Rest should be purposeful. It should be about more than just taking a break. It's about recharging your body, mind, and soul in ways that empower you to keep going. Purposeful rest means understanding the balance between relaxation and productivity, knowing when it's time to rest so that you can return to your work stronger, and knowing when it's time to push through discomfort to achieve your goals. Purposeful rest isn't about avoiding work. It's about creating space for energy to be restored so that you can come back with a clear mind and renewed strength. When rest becomes a way to avoid challenges, that's when it starts to become harmful. It's easy to take a break because you feel tired, overwhelmed, or uninspired. But what happens when you rest for too long? You start to forget why you were working so hard in the first place. You lose your drive, your passion, and your sense of purpose. Instead of using rest to fuel your growth, you use it as an excuse to avoid facing the discomfort that comes with pursuing your dreams. The problem with this type of rest is that it leads to stagnation. You start to feel comfortable in your inaction, and slowly your ambition begins to fade. You might find yourself spending more time resting than actually working towards your goals. And while rest is important, it's equally important to make sure that it's not an excuse to avoid progress. The key is finding the balance between rest and action, knowing when to push forward and when to take a step back to recharge. This is why purposeful rest is so important. It doesn't mean just sitting around doing nothing. It means taking the time to do activities that help you replenish your energy in a meaningful way. Whether it's going for a walk, reading a book, spending time with loved ones, or doing something creative, these are the kinds of activities that allow your mind to reset while keeping you connected to your goals and your growth. But rest without purpose, the kind where you simply avoid work or avoid challenging yourself, can cause you to lose sight of your objectives. You begin to feel like it's easier to rest than to keep pushing yourself forward. It's in these moments that you have to ask yourself, are you resting because you need it, or are you using it as a crutch to avoid the work that's necessary to achieve your goals? Purposeful rest means you are aware of your limits, but also committed to coming back stronger. When you find the balance between rest and productivity, you'll notice how much more energized you feel, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Purposeful rest doesn't create stagnation. It propels you forward by allowing you to return to your work with more focus, clarity, and enthusiasm. So, the next time you take a break, make it count. Don't let it become an excuse to avoid the discomfort that brings growth. Let it be the reset you need to continue pushing forward. In life, there are always two paths you can choose, the path of comfort or the path of growth. The comfort zone is a place where everything is easy, predictable, and familiar. It's a place where you don't have to push yourself too hard, because things just seem to flow without much effort. But while comfort may seem appealing, it can also be a trap. The truth is, comfort, while necessary at times, can prevent you from reaching your true potential. To become the best version of yourself, you must choose growth over comfort every single time. Choosing growth over comfort means being willing to face discomfort and challenge head on. It's about stepping outside of what feels easy and familiar, and taking on challenges that stretch you, that force you to evolve.
Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you challenge yourself, when you push through obstacles, and when you refuse to settle for mediocrity.
Growth requires you to do things that feel uncomfortable, whether that's taking on a difficult project, learning a new skill, or facing a fear. It's in those moments of discomfort that you find your true strength. The problem with comfort is that it lulls you into a sense of security. You start to feel like you're doing enough, like you're making progress, but in reality, you're just going through the motions. Comfort makes you believe that you're okay just as you are, and that you don't need to change. But growth, true growth, requires change. It requires stepping into the unknown, taking risks, and being okay with the fact that failure is a possibility. Without growth, you stagnate, you stay the same, and staying the same means missing out on everything you are truly capable of. Choosing growth means embracing the unknown. It means walking into situations where you don't have all the answers, where you might stumble, fall, and fail. But it also means that you're willing to learn from those failures. You understand that failure isn't the end. It's simply a step in the process of becoming better. Each mistake, each setback, is an opportunity to grow. And if you keep choosing growth, no matter how uncomfortable or difficult it may seem, you will continually evolve into the best version of yourself. Comfort often keeps you in a state of complacency. You feel safe and secure, but in reality, you're not progressing. You're not challenging yourself to be better. And while there's nothing wrong with taking a break or enjoying moments of rest, you should never let comfort become a permanent state. If you want to achieve your dreams, if you want to live a life that's meaningful and fulfilling, you must be willing to leave your comfort zone behind. You must be willing to take risks, to fail, and to get back up every time. Growth is about becoming more than what you are today. It's about being better, stronger, and wiser. It's about constantly pushing your limits and going beyond what you thought was possible. When you choose growth, you commit to constantly improving yourself, whether that's through learning new skills, challenging your beliefs, or taking on projects that stretch your abilities. And every time you do this, you get one step closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. Choosing growth over comfort isn't easy. It's not the path of least resistance, but it's the path that leads to the most rewarding results. It's the path that will transform you, shape you, and help you achieve the success you've always dreamed of. When you make growth your priority, you stop settling for a life that's easy and predictable. Instead, you start creating a life that's full of purpose, passion, and achievement. You become the best version of yourself, not because you took the easy road, but because you were willing to face the discomfort, take the risks, and choose growth over comfort every single time. We all wish for an easy life, a life without obstacles, without challenges, without discomfort. The idea of everything going smoothly, with no bumps along the way, sounds appealing, right? But here's the thing, discomfort is the very thing that shapes us. It's the thing that builds our resilience, our strength, and our ability to push through the toughest times. Without discomfort, we remain fragile, unable to handle life's inevitable challenges. It's in the moments of struggle that we learn to rise, to fight, and to grow. Think about the times when you faced difficult situations. Maybe it was a personal challenge, a career setback, or a situation that forced you to confront something you didn't want to face. In those moments, discomfort pushed you to your limits. It made you question everything. It made you feel like giving up might be easier than continuing. But it was in those very moments of discomfort that you found your strength. You pushed through. You learned something about yourself that you never would have known if you had stayed in the comfort of an easy life. You became stronger because of the struggle. That's how resilience is built. Resilience is not something we are born with. It's something we develop. It's the ability to bounce back when life knocks us down, to keep going even when everything seems impossible. And the only way to develop resilience is through discomfort. It's the trials, the difficulties, and the failures that teach us how to stand tall when we're hit with life's punches. Every time you face a challenge, you become more resilient. You become more capable of handling whatever comes next. Each struggle builds your inner strength, teaching you that you are more powerful than you ever thought. Strength, much like resilience, is not something that can be gained from ease. You don't build physical, mental, or emotional strength by avoiding the hard work. It comes from pushing yourself when things are tough. Think about working out. Muscles don't grow by avoiding the weights. Muscles grow when you push them to their limit, when you test them, when you challenge them. The same is true for your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. You don't grow stronger by avoiding difficulties. You grow stronger by embracing them, by confronting them head on, and by doing what others might avoid. Strength is built in the moments when you could have quit, but instead you chose to keep going. It's easy to look at someone who is strong, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, and assume that they have it easy. We look at their success and think that it was effortless. But what we don't see are the countless hours they spent pushing through discomfort. We don't see the times they felt like giving up, but chose not to. We don't see the failures they experienced before they succeeded. True strength is not built by avoiding discomfort. It's built by facing it head on and coming out the other side stronger. Discomfort forces you to grow. It forces you to evolve into someone who is capable of handling bigger challenges. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to welcome discomfort. You need to stop running from the things that scare you and start embracing them. The more you face discomfort, the more you build the resilience and strength that will carry you through life's toughest moments. Each time you overcome a challenge, you add another layer of strength to your foundation. You become someone who is unbreakable, who can withstand anything that comes their way. Remember, the most successful people, the strongest people, are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who embrace it. They are the ones who are not afraid to fail, to struggle, to face the pain. They are the ones who understand that discomfort is not their enemy, it's their teacher. It's what makes them who they are. So, the next time you face discomfort, don't shy away from it. Lean into it. Know that it's helping you become the person you are meant to be. Every challenge you face, every moment of discomfort, is building the resilience and strength that will allow you to thrive. In a world that often celebrates comfort and ease, it's easy to forget one important truth. The world rewards strength, not softness. The truth is, life isn't built around smooth sailing. It's full of storms, obstacles, and challenges. The people who thrive in this world are the ones who rise to meet these challenges with strength, courage, and determination. Softness may feel good for a moment, but in the long run, it's the resilient, the strong, and the determined who make an impact and achieve success. The truth about strength is that it's built over time. It's not something you're born with, but something you cultivate through experience, effort, and perseverance. It's the ability to withstand adversity, to keep going when things get tough, and to push through obstacles that seem insurmountable. It's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and using it to grow. Strength is what enables you to bounce back from failure, to rise from defeat, and to face life's challenges with confidence. Softness, on the other hand, can lead to complacency. It can make you feel good in the short term, but it doesn't help you grow or face life's difficulties. Comfort, ease, and avoiding hard work might feel appealing, but they don't prepare you for the inevitable challenges that life will throw your way. When you live in softness, you stop pushing yourself. You stop challenging yourself to be better, stronger, and more capable. You get stuck in a cycle of ease that ultimately leads to stagnation. Softness might be what you want in the moment, but it's not what will serve you in the long run. In the real world, those who are able to endure hardship, to work through adversity, and to keep pushing forward are the ones who are rewarded. Success isn't handed to the soft and complacent. It's earned by those who are willing to take on challenges, to fail and get back up, and to keep going when it feels like there's no way forward. Strength is what gets you through the tough times. It's what helps you overcome obstacles that seem impossible to beat. Without strength, you give up too easily. You stop before you've even begun to truly fight for what you want. The people who succeed in life are those who understand that strength is a requirement. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for things to be easy. It's about pushing yourself even when the odds are against you. Strength is the ability to take on what life throws at you, to learn from the struggles, and to use them as fuel for your next move. The world doesn't reward those who sit back and hope things will get better. It rewards those who take action, who face discomfort, who challenge themselves to be the best they can be. Think about the times in your own life when you've succeeded. Those moments didn't come because things were easy. They came because you chose to fight through the hard times. You chose to push through the pain, the doubts, and the fear. You chose to be strong, and in doing so, you proved to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Strength is not just about being tough in the physical sense. It's about mental toughness, emotional resilience, and the willingness to keep going, no matter what. The world sees that strength, it rewards it.
It rewards the people who are willing to work, to strive, to learn, and to fail and try again.
It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent.
The people who achieve greatness in life are those who keep going, who refuse to give up, and who keep building their strength, one challenge at a time.
So, the next time you feel like stepping back into comfort, remember this: the world rewards strength, not softness.
If you want to achieve anything in life, if you want to make an impact, you have to develop the strength to face the challenges, to endure the discomfort, and to push through the obstacles.
Softness may feel good for a while, but strength is what will carry you through to success. Choose strength, choose resilience, and watch as the world rewards you for it.